To other news now, and the contaminated blood scandal, which has been described as the biggest failure of patients in NHS history. Thousands of people were treated with infected blood plasma in the 70s and 80s, with many going on to contract HIV or Hep C as a result. Hundreds died. Now, the judge leading the inquiry into the scandal has said survivors should receive compensation of at least £100,000 each. One of those is Matt Harris from Brixworth. Stuart Ratcliffe has been to meet him.
Mathew Harris is a haemophiliac and was given infected blood plasma in the 1980s. This was imported from the US, which was often taken from prisoners, many of whom were drug users, infected with HIV or hepatitis C. Mathew was later diagnosed with Hep C and has since undergone painful treatment and therapy.
It made me very ill, and I was on 11 tablets a day and an injection on a Friday evening, which would knock me out for the whole weekend. You know, I wouldn't get out of bed. And it was also hard on my family. My children were obviously a lot younger then, and they could see me, you know, extremely ill, and they couldn't understand why.
In 2019, Mathew travelled to London for the opening of the infected blood inquiry. He was hoping for answers and, crucially, an apology. But now, 3 years later, the offer of compensation.
I was kind of surprised, to be fair. It was encouraging, surprised, but I'll believe it when I see it.
And it didn't just affect you, it affected other members of your family, didn't it? Explain that.
It has, unfortunately. I've lost 4 cousins. I've lost other family members on my grandfather's side, and to see them waste away basically is heartrending. It really is, and it's such a shame because it couldn't and shouldn't have happened.
And nothing but the truth.
The former Health Secretary Matt Hancock told the inquiry in 2021 that if it was deemed appropriate that compensation should be paid, then of course that would be honoured. A government spokesperson said, "We recognise how important this will be for people infected and affected across the UK, and can confirm the government will consider the recommendations with the utmost urgency." But Matt says families have been waiting long enough, and no amount of money can ever compensate for the suffering caused. Stuart Ratcliffe, BBC Look East.